Mark Cavalli, The Athletic.
What's up, Ike? How you doing? My question is, Steelers have never really had a receivers coach as accomplished as you are on the field. So my question is, did you think that helped with you with your interview? And how does being a former player who's been there, done that in this league, go with helping the younger wide receivers and teaching them?
Regarding the interview process, I think you'd be better off, asking the head coach how, he saw it. I would hope that to some degree, being fortunate enough to play 12 years would help me in terms of how I communicate, what I communicate, uh, how I can detail what I need to detail for each player or collectively for the group in terms of the nuances of the position. So uh, for me, I think I'd have to go back to my first job interview, and the late Tony Sperano told me that playing years are like dog years to coaches, and it's a little bit different in terms of communicating with the players, how you deal with the players, how the players deal with you, the things that you see on the move uh, regarding playing the game and things of that nature. So, you know, really harness that, to the fullest capability and try to exude that every time you teach. So hopefully it helps. I think I've been unfortunately blessed, unbelievably blessed, I should say, not unfortunately, unbelievably blessed up until this point to still be around the game, and looking forward to continuing to lean on that experience as I continue to teach.
Thanks, Ike.
Great. Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Hey, Ike, thanks for doing this. Kind of going off Mark's question, the Steelers have a really young receiving core. What's your connection been with them so far? And what things have you noticed specifically in guys like Deontay Johnson and JuJu that they need to do to kind of, in JuJu's case, return to his form a couple years ago, and Deontay to make that second year jump that the Steelers like to see out of a lot of their wide receivers?
But I think every year as a coach, you want to see continuous growth, out of every player. It's no different here. Yes, on paper, it's a considerably young group, but I've been around young groups before. I've coached young players before. I've been blessed that way. This group is a little younger than the group I had in Buffalo. We had Stevie Johnson and newly drafted Robert Woods, and newly drafted Marquise Goodwin, Chris Hogan after he'd been cut 3 times. Um, Guys like that. So I'm no stranger to dealing with younger players and trying to help them with their journey. As far as each of those guys are concerned that are here, Juju. Hopefully he's going to bounce back this year from his injuries from last year, and he looks great. He's worked incredibly hard, so we're looking forward to having Juju for a healthy 16 plus. Deontay needs to continue to grow and detail his work and mature and things of that nature. And I can go down the list from those two guys to Ryan Switzer to Chase Claypool and all of the guys in the room. I think everyone will be pleased if I can get the most out of these players and everyone involved, including you guys, including everybody in the building, can see continuous growth on a weekly basis.
Thanks.
Ray Fittipaldo, Post Gazette.
Hi, Ike. How are you?
Outstanding. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Just following up on Brooke's question, a young room, but it is fairly accomplished. Some of those guys have done some things in this league, and then you add on 2 veteran, accomplished tight ends that are going to get targets too. How do you keep all those guys content and happy in their roles, as you juggle their egos and that sort of thing?
Winning is the cure-all. I think everybody's heard that before. You win football games, everyone is happy. I've really never been concerned with egos and attitudes and personalities. That comes with the territory. I think when guys understand what the ultimate goal is, we won't have those issues. And it starts day one. We have well, I personally think a Hall of Fame quarterback, coming back this year healthy, and he's going to lead this team. He's going to get the ball where it's supposed to go. and it's our job to make the play when the ball's in the air, and we won't have to worry about any of that other stuff going forward.
Ed Bouchette, The Athletic.
Hello, Ike. Sorry for the
Very
delay.
good. There you go.
With such a young group, is a leader emerging like JuJu, and is that important to have one?
Well, it starts with me, in the room with how I deliver the message, by way of the head coach and offensive coordinator. It's my job to help these young men prepare the way that they're supposed to prepare, to teach them how to be pros. And, that's no disrespect to anyone that's been here before me, but that's, what I've been asked to do, and I intend to do that. So I'm going to lead by example, lead them through the way I teach, how I prepare them, what we do every day from a fundamental standpoint, how we see the big picture on a snap-by-snap basis. But those leaders usually emerge throughout competition, throughout daily work, and that'll at some point take care of itself outside of me.
Mike Prizzuta, DVE.
How's it going, Ike?
Outstanding. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. You have a good track record with rookies in particular in your coaching career. McLaren last year was the latest example. How much of what has worked coaching up rookies previously is unavailable to you this year because of these circumstances, and how do you intend to work around what you can't do?
Every year is the same for me. I'm not going to make any excuses. We're going to get these guys ready to play. These kids are extremely talented, and it's just our job just to get the most out of them. We're not going to make any excuses about how much time we missed in the offseason on the grass or any of those things. We've worked virtually. We've worked hard. We have to now make sure that when we do get real snaps, we maximize those. And we get the most out of those players on a snap-by-snap basis. It's going to be no different this year. These young men are going to be productive, and we're all going to be proud of what the product that we put on the field.
Jim
Thank
Wexel,
you.
47 Sports.
Hi, Ike. Hey,
How
I'm good. What do you bring as a coach that's unique to the wide receiver position?
I think for me, I lean a lot on my in-helmet experience. So there's a certain feel and timing and spacing portion of receiver play, and sometimes that I guess it's really not talked about a lot. And I think it's important for young players to know that outside of the progression on a quarterback, that the spacing and timing and the rhythm of his play is just as important as their individual talent level in regards to how they get open depending on coverage and before they make a play. And I think helping them understand that on a snap-by-snap basis and how they fit within every concept, how their role evolves during the course of a game, based on the game plan and understanding the big picture and what we're trying to accomplish. I think a lot of that is what I hopefully and confidently will bring to the table to help these young men be successful.
Joe Rudder, Trig.
When you got into coaching, was there anybody who coached you coming up through in the NFL that you kind of used and patterned some things off of and helped shaped you?
I think year 7 of my playing career, I was really convinced that I wanted to get into coaching. I've been fortunate enough to transition right after playing, and I've been coaching ever since. But to answer your question, I think for me, having the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl, and unfortunately we lost, but understanding the few years that I had with Sean Payton as an offensive coordinator and understanding the chess match, within the game of football and the detail that was involved there to help us make that run and have a few of those special teams for the Giants quite a few years ago. And running into a situation where I was coached by Milt Jackson and coached by Richard Mann, and being around, John and Jay Gruden, I think the method for their madness really helped me mold my mental per se to prepare for coaching, and it's just been great for me to be able to share successes and failures and in helmet perspective and all of the stories that go along with the great game that I love and respect. So that's kind of how it happened for me.
Okay, thank you.
Brian Backo, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Ike, welcome to Pittsburgh. Hope it's treating you well so far.
Treating me very well, thank you.
Good. I wanted to ask you about James Washington. From what you've watched from him last year, where are the biggest areas that he needs to improve to continue to build on the progress he made in year 2? And now also with the news that came out, the announcement, was it yesterday, I think, about him being placed on the reserve list. How much time does he lose, and how much is that going to be a challenge for him in the early process here?
Well, just be forthright with you. I think when it comes to injuries and the COVID situation, I'm just going to defer to the head coach on all of that, regarding time and treatment or any of that stuff. That is way above my pay grade. So I'm going to leave that where it is. No disrespect to you or anyone else. But in terms of his development, I think everyone can see that James is a freakish athlete. And we love and respect that. There's areas of growth. Again, timing and spacing. I can get into specifics about using his hands at the line of scrimmage versus press a lot more, using his strength that way. We have to find a way to get more lateral movement out of him in terms of quick twitch and helping him get away with some of those things because of the linear athlete he is. Again, I'm not trying to read his rap sheet to give up, all of the things that we're going to work on, but things of that nature. Being strong at the point when it comes to blocking. I think everyone in our room needs to do a better job to help Connor and the rest of that running back room get more yardage. We got to get more there. But as all young players, they're going to see themselves for however many years, they've been here, with James, just a few. We're going to look at the plays. We're going to detail them, once he gets back. We're going to accelerate that process how we see fit. And we expect James to be a better player this year than he was last year.
Thanks, Ike.
Yep.
Dale Lawley, DK.
Hey, Ike, obviously, I'm sure you had some input in the drafting of Chase Claypool, and this was a very good rookie draft class for wide receivers. What did you see in him that made him a guy that you guys wanted to target in that second round?
He can't teach 6'4", 238, 4.41 electric time. And it's just, something that doesn't fall off of a tree. And you get a chance to harness, that kind of talent and kind of shape it and mold it into something that can be really, really special. I think as an organization, we all jumped at the bit. And he can do so much for the football team and affect the football team in a positive manner outside of playing receiver. And we love that. We're going to love his physicality, his playmaking ability, and his speed.
Thank you.
Jeff Hawthorne, 93.7.
Hey, Ike, welcome to town. Appreciate you doing this. Just overall, what have you been able to do with this group to this point, and what are your thoughts on the talent in the room as a whole?
Well, I've been doing a lot of talking, and I think they're tired of me talking and they're ready to get on the grass now. And we're looking forward to doing that so we can start working together and kind of building a plan of attack, per se. But it's really just detailing the offense. And I guess I'll share somewhat of a story to embarrass myself. I don't know if this is embarrassing myself, but when I first got into coaching and I first had my opportunity to have my first room after being an assistant wide receiver coach with the Dolphins and fortunate enough to work for Mike Shanahan, he told me that as a coach, it's going to take you about 3 years to learn all of the details about my offense. So imagine that as a coach, or being told that as a young coach, and now you turn it over to a young player. And we have quite a few of those in the room, and that's okay. We're just going to accelerate the process. We're going to hammer out the details, and that's basically what we did this offseason. We're going to continue to do on a daily basis. We are going to challenge, these young men to be great, and we're going to challenge them to detail everything in their work, in their prep, in their individual portions of practice, during team, doing everything, doing note taking. We want them to dominate, and we just have to continue to grow and get better, and that's what we intend to do, piggybacking off of what we did this offseason in detail.
Thank you.
Richie Walsh, KDKA.
Hey, Ike. Just to follow up on the Chase Claypool question, compared to a normal year, do you expect him to catch up? Is he where he is on schedule right now? Are you worried about that at all?
I'm not worried about anything, and last year opened my eyes more than anything else. When you put the time in and you put the work in, and you are put in position to make plays and you make plays, it doesn't matter when you were drafted. It doesn't matter how long it took you to get on the spot in terms of organization or on campus, however you want to coin that term. If Chase does what we expect him to do, and that's make plays early and often, Chase is going to play a lot, and he's going to be really good. And that's what we expect about, or from, I should say, a lot of those guys. I learned that from Terry McLaurin, or about Terry McLaurin and young players wholeheartedly last year, because the world expected him to be a special teams player, and he ended up being our number one last year for the Washington football team. And, we expect the same or more, if not more, from Chase or any other young man that wants to step up and make plays.
Thanks.
Jenna Harder, PXI.
Hey, Ike, thank you so much for taking some time. I know it's kind of crazy and all this right now, but what's impressed you the most about the rookies here in this different training camp that this year brings?
Well, I think the way the guys have gone about their business in terms of following instruction and taking care of themselves, staying out of harm's way, communicating, communicating back the everyday teaching in a detail has been really, really impressive, I think, as a whole with this group. And I don't want to compare it to any other groups. I think it's just unique here. And it's a lot different in a positive way, much positive way than I've been around in my years of coaching coming here. So I'm obviously, if my opinion is worth anything, I'm obviously thrilled with, what I've seen from the young guys, specifically in my room and as a whole. I think everybody's done an unbelievable job of doing the right thing, putting in the time, getting the details taken care of, and communicating that. And we're just hoping that we can get on the grass soon and compete and see where we are and put a good product on the field.
All right, we have time for two more. Aditi Kinkawala, NFL Network.
Hello. As young as your room is, you do have a veteran quarterback. How much time have you spent talking to Ben about what he's looking for from your guys, from your room, what he likes and doesn't like? And just one more, as a Jersey girl who grew up a Giants fan, have you showed your film to your room?
I don't think those boys were interested in watching me play, but at some point, hopefully, I can go and talk about myself after hopefully helping them do what they need to do. But in regards to your question about Ben, there's never going to be enough time for me to spend with the quarterback and trying to, pick his brain in regards to what he likes and what he wants. If nothing else, just to make sure that the young men are where they're supposed to be when he's ready to throw the football. So I'm looking forward to diving in and spending a bunch of time with the quarterback, and hopefully we can all get it accelerated and where it needs to be so we can be the best offense in the league.
All right, last question is for Noah Strackbean, Sports Illustrated.
Hey, Ike, thanks for doing this. Going back to JuJu, you've been in the NFL system long enough to see the highs and lows of an NFL career. Have you had any advice for him coming off a roadblock like he had last year with injuries and stuff like that?
Again, I try not to talk about myself a lot, but I was fortunate enough to play 12 years. I had 8 surgeries, so I understand. JuJu and I have talked. JuJu understands. At the end of the day, it's our job as players and coaches to perform, and he understands that. And he's going to be great this year. He's going to do everything in his power to stay healthy, number one. And, outside of availability, being your best ability, the rest of that stuff will take care of itself. We all know that JuJu's a playmaker. We all know that he's going to be a guy that we want to get the ball to. to jumpstart our offense in a big way. And he is looking forward to being JuJu.